Alright, so really quickly, I'm about to upload this video, but I just wanted to add in, remember how I mentioned to you guys, if the giveaway winners did not reach out to me by Friday at midnight, I was going to go ahead and pick new people. So this is what we're going to do. I have one gift card left. If you would like to enter the giveaway, I would like you to comment anything you want, and then you can still do the extra entry. Good luck to everybody. There is still one gift card out there, and I will probably announce it in the next video. We can get this short and sweet because I want you guys to get your prizes. So good luck to everybody.
Hi guys, it's Anissa. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I did a video that has been very long overdue. It is an updated makeup routine. I think I did one about a year ago. I have learned so many new techniques and discovered so many amazing products that I felt like I had to do an updated one for you guys. This is what we were able to come up with today. If you're interested to see some of my favorite products as of right now, then please make sure to keep on watching. But before you go any further, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I post on this channel every 4 days, so you never have to miss me for too long. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. So I always start with my eyebrows first. What I do is I outline them, then I fill them in, and then I carve them out. To outline them, I use this Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil, and I am in the color 5. I have an in-depth eyebrow tutorial at the beginning of one of my Shop My Stashes, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do it for you guys again. On the top, I never fill this front part in right here. Where my hairs grow straight up, I leave that alone because I like to have an ombre eyebrow. Grows up, and then once I can see that it starts growing this way, that's where I start outlining it. So it's right about here. And I accentuate my arch. And then on the bottom, I usually fill in from the very beginning. And this formula is so amazing because it's really pigmented, but it's also really easy to work with and blend out. I have been loving this e.l.f. liner lock on brow cream. This is in the color Espresso. You do not need a lot of this at all because it is super, super pigmented. Now with this pomade, I just fill in my sparse areas. So like that right area up there on the top. And really brushing out the front of that to help it kind of all ombre together. Now that we have the shape, I'm gonna go ahead and clean them up. One of my favorites, if not my favorite for carving out my brows, is this NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer, and I am in the color Caramel. My favorite brush to use for outlining my brows is this e.l.f. concealer brush. Super inexpensive, but also really, really good. Blending brush and blend it out, but I love that concealer. It has a good coverage to it, but it's also really creamy. It's easy to blend out, and voila, here is the eyebrow. So here is the before and here's the after. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye off camera, and then I'll be back. All right, I am done with both brows. I just wanted to go ahead and mention, if you guys do want to see some more products that I love to use in rotation, because even though this is my makeup routine and these are my favorite products, I don't just have one favorite of everything. I have multiple favorites. Go check out my Best of Beauty for 2020. That is pretty much all of my favorites. I do have a few new favorites. Before we do eyeshadow, we have to prime our eyelids. The one that I'm going to be using today, this is the MAC Paint Pot, and this is in the color Soft Ochre. I like it because it's a little bit lighter and it makes my shadows pop, but it also has a nice base that the eyeshadow can stick onto. And then a newer favorite that I discovered, the regular e.l.f. eyeshadow primer. They do also have one that is in a pot that is also good and I like, but you have to be careful because it does dry out pretty quickly. I just spray setting spray in it and it's good to go. I'm going to do one eye off camera, and then I will be back to show you guys the other eye. This is my first eye. I still love neutral colors, especially over the past year. I like it a little bit more smoky, and I really like doing a halo eye. I pulled two of my favorite palettes. Today I am going to be using the NATASHA DENONA Bronze palette. This is an all-time favorite of mine. Love the colors in it. They're amazing. A more affordable option that I really love and have always loved, Warrior by JUVIA'S. This has always been a favorite of mine. So beautiful. I started off by base down on my eye, and I take a more dense blending brush, pack the color down at first. You see how pigmented that is? You barely need any. I pack that on my lid. Then I take a more fluffy brush and I blend it out. And you really don't even have to use eyeshadow primer. You can use concealer if you want to. I just like to use an eyeshadow primer that is lighter than me because it makes the shadows pop more. I am going to take this super dark color right down here, and this is something old Anissa would have never done. I just take a eyeshadow brush, is pack this onto my lid all over. The pan sizes are huge, they're affordable, they're really easy to blend. To take the color Suntan right down here, and I'm going to take a fluffy crease brush and blend that on the very top of my crease where the color ends and help blend the two together. Once that's halfway blended out, I'm gonna take this deeper color right here. I'm gonna take Magma and just put the tiniest bit on top of that and finish blending that out. The lid's blended together, but the outside isn't. So I take a clean brush to blend that out. I kind of blend up into my eyebrow too. That way it really has a nice gradient effect to it. Then I'm going to take this e.l.f. eye contour brush and I'm gonna take this color Deep Dive right here. It is just a black, and I'm just gonna put this on the outer corner to give the outer corner some depth. Once I have that color packed down, just take a blending brush and just boom. You see where the arch is in my eyebrow, where this part of my eyebrow, that's where I drag this. And I stop right at my arch. There's so many gorgeous gold shades in here, so I kind of just pick whichever one I'm feeling that day. I really am loving True Bronze today. So I just take my finger and I'm going to place this as wide as the color part of my eye is. I'm gonna put my finger right there and just swipe the color. And I don't put it up into the crease. I put it right where my crease stops and just on my lid. I have hooded eyes, so when I look like this, it looks like it just kind of blends up into your eye. If you don't have hooded eyes, you're gonna wanna blend that out. And I don't take a brush. I won't grab any more color. See my finger, this is how wide I wanted it. So I'll go a little bit over and just kind of brush it that way to kind of give it a gradient effect. There is the eye look. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys out and we're gonna do complexion. Before I do anything, when I start my makeup, I pull out a makeup wipe. That way I can wipe my fingers off if I have glitter on my fingers. But what I do is I just take it and go right underneath my eyes in case I have any fallout, which I really don't have a whole bunch, but I do it just in case. Kind of the point as to why I do my eyes first. That way I don't have to worry about fallout and stuff, because I know I used to use a lot of really good eyeshadows that I loved. They just had fallout, so I stopped using them because I was doing my complexion first. First step is primer, and I have been alternating between these two that I'm going to mention to you guys. The first one should not be a surprise to any of you. It is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. The other one that I've been loving is this Haley's Beauty Refine Foundation Primer. It's so small, but you do not need a lot of product at all. But I think today I'm in the mood for some Hydro Grip, so that's what we're gonna go ahead and use. It feels so good going onto your face, especially if you're somebody that wakes up early in the morning. It has a nice sticky base, ensures that your makeup is going to last all day, and then it helps with longevity too. I just did a full face I'm getting rid of, and I mentioned the e.l.f. Cooling Mint Primer. That's way too sticky. You guys can see your makeup is just gonna grip right onto this. And it's also really one of the only hydrating primers that I really love. It's the only primer that I found that is really good with helping your makeup last, but also is very hydrating. Usually I will mix a hydrating primer like the Huda Beauty Water Jelly Primer with like another pore filling primer or a mattifying primer or something like that. This is just a one stop and shop. The only thing I do underneath my foundation is my bronzer. One of my favorites, if not my favorite, is this Fenty Beauty Match Stick, and this is in the color Espresso. These are so beginner friendly, really easy to blend, very pigmented. You get a lot of product. I kind of had a natural contour on my face. I think it's from discoloration, but I will tend to put that right above where that natural contour is. And a tip for you guys, if you are like getting into bronzing and stuff, and even blush, put that product up higher than what you think it's supposed to go. It's better to have it higher up than down low. When you have that product down low, it's gonna make your face look droopy, versus this is just gonna give you a natural facelift. And then you have to remember, once you blend it out too, it's not just gonna stay right here. And lightly blend that out. I don't blend it out all the way. You still wanna be able to see it through your foundation. But it's also buildable and it's really easy to blend out. You see, it's not fighting me to be blended out, but I'm also not losing a whole bunch of pigment. So I'm gonna go ahead and do one more layer. I leave it at right about that much blended. Do you see what I mean by I put it up higher, but when I blended it out, I kind of went down more, so it landed exactly where I wanted it to be. I do not color correct anymore. Every once in a while I will. The first one is this NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation. One of the best things man has ever created. I have a full in-depth review on this. If you want to check it out, I'll link it up here. I also really love the JUVIA'S Place I Am Magic, and I'm in the color 410. NARS, I'm in the color Macao Medium Deep 4. These are the two most full coverage foundations that I have. I love all my other ones, but I'm just mentioning these because I'm going for a full coverage look today. Favorite sponge of all time is any sponge from e.l.f. This one in particular is the Marshmallow Blender. If you like soft sponges, you will love this. And I love this foundation because it is so lightweight, and I also love the applicator. It sits upside down, so you're gonna get all of your product, but you also don't need to use a lot, so it's gonna last you a long time. Has that instant matte finish, really good coverage, not cakey. If you're using this foundation, do it in sections because it is pretty fast drying. It reminds me a lot of a liquid to powder formula. I feel like I didn't put on a whole lot, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a second light layer, not anything really heavy. Even when you build it up, it still has that lightweight feel. Then just getting as close to my eyebrows as I can. Next is concealer. My current favorite right now is this Morphe Fluidity Full Coverage Concealer, and I'm in the color C3.55. This stuff is slept on. I don't hear enough people talk about it. It is so full coverage, and the shade range on this is actually pretty impressive. Hello. Most of the time, this has been my go-to powder for underneath my eyes. If I want to be super bright, and this is the powder I'll use. This is the JUNI & Co. Makeup Setting Powder, and this is in the color Brighten. This is not in the color Translucent. Important little step I do before I put my powder on, I will take this e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush and blend out right underneath my eyes just to make sure that I've blended in all the creases and the wrinkles in my eyes. I will take the sponge, and this is important. I used to bake. I do not bake anymore. I just press the powder into the skin, and man, does it make a difference. Because when you're baking, you're really not letting that powder soak into your skin. This stuff makes you look like you got your 8 hours. Next, I will set all over my face, and I'm gonna go ahead and mention this translucent powder because I think it is the best translucent powder besides Laura Mercier. It is this Hailey's Beauty Retouch Perfecting Powder Loose Setting Powder in the color, it only comes in translucent. This is so inclusive. I have tried so many translucent powders that just do not work for girls of color, but today I just feel like being a little bit extra, so I'm going to use a powder foundation, probably my favorite powder foundation of all time on the higher end side of things, Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Complexion Powder, and I'm in the color Spiced Rum. This with my Born This Way foundation and my Born This Way concealer, a dream duo. I just take a flat powder brush. I'm gonna go ahead and mention 2 blushes because I use cream blush and powder blush. I didn't want to use cream blush today, so I'm gonna go ahead and use powder. But if I do cream, I do it underneath all my powder products. If you're looking for some really good cream blushes, these e.l.f. Putty blushes are so amazing. Caribbean. I think their shades are really inclusive for these. They are very, very pigmented, so you don't need a whole lot of product at all. But today I'm just gonna go ahead and use a powder blush, and the blush that I have been grabbing for, Patrick Ta Double Take Cream and Powder Blush. Oh, she's different. I do also like the cream blush, which is right here, but I'm gonna go ahead and use this powder blush today. I used to just put it on the apples of my cheeks. I will start very upper apple of my cheek and drag it pretty much into my highlight. That way that flush of color looks natural, and it also just blends really pretty when you put highlight on top of it. And then if I feel like I put on a little too much, all I'll do is just go over it with my sponge. This versus this. And you can even tell from a front view. Setting spray. This is probably my favorite setting spray as of right now, drugstore or high-end. This NYX Bear With Me multitasking spray. It's not mattifying, and I used to only use mattifying setting sprays. This just is going to help melt your makeup together and make everything just look so seamless and lock everything into place. But it's not drying. It just feels so good. Great formula. You get a lot of product. I do it until I'm pretty much glowy like this, and then I will use my handheld fan that I will link down below for you guys. I like to do this or fan my face with a book because I feel like it kind of helps everything soak in really fast and helps everything just melt together, versus if you just let it melt in, I don't think it would be the same. You can see already on the side of my face, it just looks so melted together, and you know that I have makeup on, but you don't know. And then I always do my highlighter right after because I feel like it kind of sticks a little bit better. I'm gonna mention a high-end and a drugstore highlighter because I don't know which one I want to use yet. I have been loving this Maybelline Master Chrome Face Studio. This is in the color 100 Molten Gold. Reminds me a lot of Becca highlighters. My OG, which I just bought a backup of because I found out that Becca was actually going out of business. I found this exact highlighter at TJ Maxx for 10 bucks, so I bought it. It is the Becca highlighter in the color Chocolate Geode. I think for today, I feel like I've used a lot of high-end makeup. Use the Maybelline. I'm gonna highlight my nose, which is like my favorite step of makeup. It just adds a whole new dimension to the face, and then I just slightly drag it down. If you get on your face and with a brush, you can feel where the top of your cheekbone is. It's gonna be a little bit harder. Place that on the very top of your cheekbone, and it's gonna hit the light so beautifully. And you can even see, it's like an indent in your face. It's not an indent, it pops out. This brush is pretty much the same size as the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer brush. I take a fluffier, more fanning highlighter brush is what it is, and I just blend, which is what you guys just saw me do. I'm going to quickly finish off my eyes. So I think I'm going to go into the NATASHA DENONA palette, Magma, drag that on my lower lash line. For bottom mascara, this is one of my favorite high-end and lower-end mascaras. J-Cat Lengthening Mascara is just so perfect for the lower lashes, which is all I put mascara on because I do have eyelash extensions. Last step is lips, and for lips I have been liking to do a dark lip liner with a kind of lighter center. For lip liner today I'm just going to be using this JUVIA'S Place. This is the Luxe lip liner. This is the color Cola. It's like the perfect chocolatey brown. I also really love the Sephora gel lip liners, specifically the colors Hot Sauce and Rosewood. The only two differences between these two really, this one's a roll up. This one you still do have to sharpen, but I just like a gel formula better. There's a lot less tugging on the lips and it's easier to apply. My lip color, I'm going to be using this JUVIA'S Place lipstick, and this is just in the color Me. And I'll just put this in the center. And it looks crazy now, but just wait. They mix and make the most perfect nude shade. It's not too light, it's not too dark. For a little bit of gloss, I use the JUVIA'S Place Lip Reflect Gloss, and this is in the color Caramel Rose. Alright guys, this is my updated makeup routine. I did just do a natural makeup routine, and I will link that right up here. And I shared a lot of tips and tricks. Some of them are the same as this video, but I do have some tips for more lighter, more natural makeup. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know some of your favorite makeup products in your current makeup routine and how many times you do your makeup a week. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.